guys, welcome back to Downtown Rams. As always, I'm your host, Alexis Kraft, joined here with my co host, Jake Ellenbogen. And we are continuing with our 2022 NFL Draft Prospect interviews. And joining us on the show right now, we have Jake Hansen, linebacker from Illinois. How are you doing, Jake?
Doing great. Happy to be here.
Well, we're excited to talk to you.
Yeah, happy to have you.
Yeah, glad I'm here and glad I'm able to talk to you guys.
For sure. And just to start this off, we just want to kind of take it back to the beginning and hear a little bit about how you got involved in the game of football.
How I got involved? My sister actually, my younger sister was signing up for um, a cheerleading team at a youth football sports complex, and I saw people playing football, and I asked my dad, I was like, Dad, can you sign me up? And we signed up, and I was in pads that day. So that from then on, I've played every year.
Love it. And, going back, just you probably, I would imagine, have watched, NFL football. Back in the day, did you have a favorite player you looked up to?
I mean, I liked Luke Kuechly. I liked Patrick Willis. My dad grew up in the Bay Area, so we watched the Niners a little bit. So I watched Navarro Bowman a little bit too. So I like all those guys.
All great athletes, all great football players for sure. And when it came time for you to play in college, you ended up at the University of Illinois. What was it about Illinois that drew you to their program?
So for me, coming out of high school, I didn't have a ton of offers. That Illinois ended up being my only Power Five option, in like the situation I was in. So that was kind of what I viewed myself as. In high school, I viewed myself as a Power Five linebacker, and I wanted to. It was the opportunity to play at the highest level, so I chose Illinois. Pretty easy for me.
And now, Jake, for incoming recruits, anybody can, considering going there as a student athlete, if you had to pitch to them that they should go there and why they should, how would you do that?
I would just, it's a huge alumni base for one, as far as like academics and connections post football and things like that. And if you're not, if you're looking past football, but I know everyone's looking at football, and you get to play at the highest level. You're playing in the Big Ten. You're playing some of the best players every single week, and Coach Bielema has got that program headed in the right direction. I think they're going to do great things going forward.
Yeah, you do play a lot of good competition for sure at Illinois. And that kind of leads into my next question, which was going to be, is there anyone that stands out to you as being the toughest person that you had to face during your college career?
So there's two players that really stood out to me. One, the first one obviously is Jonathan Taylor. We played him 3 times in my career, but the one who really it was my first start as a Big Ten football player. Like I started again. It, well, actually not as a freshman, but I started as my first I consider it my first true start because I played the whole game, and it was against Penn State my sophomore year. We played Miles Sanders, and he was we played him, and I was like, wow, this guy's a legit back. So, and that was after Saquon was there, and everyone was all excited about Saquon, and then their next back was no one thought he was as good, but Miles Sanders turned out to be a really good running back.
That's definitely, those are two names. Jonathan Taylor's dominating the league at running back, and Miles Sanders, I think, has become, he's a little underrated, but I think he's become somewhat properly rated over the years. He's gotten really good. So I hear you there. Now, you might have already touched on it, but would you say there's a favorite game in that Arsenal playing, those years in college?
Yeah, I definitely touched on. You kind of hinted at it, but definitely the Wisconsin game when we were able to upset them when they were undefeated and had a bunch of big expectations that year, and we didn't have very many expectations, so beating them was probably one of my favorite football moments at Illinois for sure, and being able to be a big part of that.
Yeah, we actually had one of your teammates on, I think last week, Vidarian Lowe.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Offensive tackle. And I think he might have mentioned that game. I could be wrong.
Yeah, no,
Jake, if you remember, but
I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, V he's an awesome dude, man. He's like a the all American guy. Like just he's a
Mhm.
dad, all that. So
Yeah, he was really fun to interview.
mhm.
But yeah, when you said that game, my mind flashed to um that Wisconsin game because I'm pretty sure that he mentioned that as well. So yeah, definitely sounds like a really meaningful game to everyone probably in that program that year. And looking at your position of linebacker, what would you say is the most important trait for a linebacker to have?
I I would say you have to have some level. The most important to me, I think, is you have to have a good amount of instinct to be like a very good good linebacker. Like you can have like guys that are real athletic, not as instinctive, and I don't think they'll be able to. They might be good players, but I don't think they'll be able to progress as far as someone with great instincts. So I think that's something that sets good linebackers apart.
And now for you, talking about, a good trait for a linebacker to have for you, what would you say is your biggest strength as a linebacker?
I would just say I'm a very decisive player. Like if I like if I see a play and I see I trust my eyes and I very trust my preparation. So when I see basically when I see a key and I shoot it and go try and make a play immediately. And I'd like to say most of the time it turns out favorably, but occasionally it doesn't. Being a decisive player is helpful, especially for when people are fitting off you in the back end. So.
For sure. And, as the draft approaches, is there anything specific that you've been in trying to improve on?
Well, for me right now, it's really just because I'm coming off. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm coming off ACL injury this past season, so that's kind of been my main focus is getting back to 100% and just showing teams that I'm going to be healthy and I'll be good for training camp and things like that, and showing that I'll be able to do all that stuff and non-contact stuff and OTAs and get cleared on time and hitting all those benchmarks that come with the ACL rehab.
No, absolutely. And just kind of, following up on that, how has that rehab gone?
It's gone really good. Unfortunately, I've been through it before once. Uh, I don't wish that upon anyone, by the way. I don't know if any of you guys have had an ACL injury or a knee injury, but don't wish it upon anyone.
I have,
You
yes.
have, so you can
Yeah, I
relate. It's tough.
yeah, it is tough. Well, and the thing is so I played soccer when I was in college a couple years ago, and yeah, I had a partial ACL tear. So I
Hmm.
didn't even tear it all the way, and even that was not a fun road at all. So I always just thought I can't imagine what this would be like if I had fully torn it, because I had half of the time needed to recover, and even that was excruciating. So yeah, definitely it's not a fun injury. Just going through that somewhat myself, and also knowing people that have gone through it. It's not, but it is something, thankfully, that players can come back from.
Hmm.
And you can get fully healthy again, and it sounds like you said you'll be good for training camp. So that's really exciting, and teams will definitely like to hear that. But this is kind of a fun question, transitioning out of that we like to ask some prospects. Who is the player, if you could pick one player to match up against in the NFL, that you're most excited to go against? There's
Most.
probably a few, but if you had to pick one, who would it be?
I mean, I just gotta say, playing. If I got a chance to play against Tom Brady, it's gotta be because it's playing and because he came out of retirement, that was one thing I was looking forward to, hoping I'd be able to get to play him once, in my career, and especially just because he's been going for so long, and then him to retire, and I was like, man, I never got to play him, that sucks. I think that'd be really cool, and then now having him being coming back out of retirement to play me. No, I'm kidding, but we'll get a chance to play against each other, so it'll be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've gotten that now a few times. It's funny because as this whole thing has evolved, and we've talked to different people over the course of the last few months, Tom Brady's gone from retired to unretired. And so you had people that would have said Brady there, but he retired before. And now I'm sure that's what their answer would be. So yeah, no, it's more like game recognized game type deal, obviously. But being that we are a Rams podcast, Rams centric podcast, and we do a lot of, NFL draft stuff during the draft season. I just want to ask you if you've had any contact with the Los Angeles Rams throughout this draft process.
We might have. I don't remember like a very specific meeting or anything like with like a formal meeting or anything like that. I may have met a few briefly at like our pro day because we had all 32 teams at our pro day. I didn't do anything, but I never had like a formal interview or like a sit down talk with a scout from LA, unfortunately.
Well, the good news is for us is we're going to be fans no matter where you go, even though we would it'd be nice if you could end up on the Rams, which is our favorite team. But, just to close this out in your own words, who is Jake Hansen as a player and who is he as a person?
As a player, I would say I am a guy that like loves every aspect of the game, whether that's like I was saying earlier, the preparation, the training, like the strength conditioning, the nutrition. I just love that constant like challenge and being able to like trying to gain an edge on everyone just throughout like every day. And then I would also say, and then as a person, I would say I'm a pretty like laid back guy. I'm not like super like not super in your face all the time. I'm not gonna like scream and yell. I'll be a little bit different on the field. I'll probably scream a little bit, yell on the field, but in person, I'm a chill guy that just likes to play football. Honestly.
No, I mean, I hear you. It's more so, the aggression you leave on the field and, you come off and you're just more like laid back. No, I get that. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. One final question for you, a little outside the box and, kind of away from the gridiron here. I'm just going to ask you to recommend us 3 different things: a TV show, an album, and for Alexis, a snack.
A snack? All right.
My snack. I was the same way.
first snack right now. I'm really been on dried mangoes. It's like a healthy, like it's a healthier snack. No added, like the no added sugar ones from Costco. I actually got them right here. It's actually.
Let me see if they're the same.
These things right here.
Okay, those aren't the ones that I get, but I do occasionally buy dried mangoes as well. Different brand, but very good. Very good choice.
So what are dried mangoes? Like, how do they taste? I've never had one before.
They literally, to me, are like starting to taste like licorice, and I love licorice too. So it's like they're so, I don't know, I love them.
And so are they like chips?
No. They're like It's almost more like a fruit leather type texture. Okay. Would you say that?
Yeah, it's like
very good, but I promise it's good.
Okay. Have you ever had Jake Ellenbogen, or I guess both of you, but I'm talking to Jake Ellenbogen. Have you ever had Honey Bunches of Oats cereal?
Yeah, it's not my
strawberries.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Okay, I was trying to think of a texture like the dried fruit. I don't know. I think that you would like the dried mangoes though.
Yeah, probably not like in like cereal, but yeah, I'd probably be fine.
No, I haven't eaten them in cereal, but no, I think that's my snack. And then the other one was movie and album.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, movie. I gotta say, like, have you guys seen The Departed?
I have.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my all-time faves. I would say, I'm also a big movie guy, so I'd say The Departed. You got to go with The Dark Knight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Dark Knight's a great one. I mean, you got Goodfellas, you got all the Italian mob movies. Those are really good. The Godfather movies. So I would say all those. And then album, I'm a big Drake fan, so I got to go with Take Care. Like Take Care is one of my favorite albums of all time, probably.
Yeah, that was that's one of my. I like Drake as well. I have all of his albums, and that's one of my favorite ones. That came out when I was like in high school, I think. And I remember that album came out and I memorized like every word to every song, like within a week.
Really?
Yeah, like it was I was like Underground Kings is on that album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Headlines on there. I love headlines. I love all
Yes.
those.
All of them were so good.
Hmm.
You said Goodfellas, and I think Alexis, that's one of your all-time favorite movies. I still have
It
not seen it.
is.
You haven't seen? All right, that's one I recommend for you. You got to see
Yeah. Yeah, I
both.
need to see. I
Yeah.
finally saw was Taxi Driver. She wanted me to see Taxi Driver so badly, and I finally saw that. I finally saw because I'm huge into horror, and everyone tells me to watch Silence of the Lambs, which isn't really horror; it's more
That's
psychological
a good
thriller.
movie too. Yeah.
Finally saw that. That was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. The Italian mob films. I mean, I gotta watch them all again because I saw most of them when I was like
Mhm.
little, but yeah, I gotta see Goodfellas. Do you have a TV show, by the way, that
Oh
you
yeah. What did you say? I'm sorry. I
yeah, no,
apologize.
no, no, but that's good though, because we're
Uh,
big movie buffs. I mean, we had a podcast before where we talk about movies all the time. So
oh,
yeah.
okay. Um, TV show. I would probably say The Peaky Blinders. Like that's a great one. I
Okay.
love that one. Have you guys seen that?
I keep getting recommended that because my guy Richard Madden's in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, it was really good. Alexis, have you seen it?
I have not seen it, but I have been recommended. It has been recommended to me, I should say, a lot. So I feel like I need to.
I was like my mom kept trying to get me to watch it, and I was like I was like not into like the old English like thing that they had going. I was like, that doesn't sound like up my alley. I started watching it, and it was like I was like one of those ones that you're just like racing home to watch type thing. So
Is it themed like a Western kind of?
yeah, but it's like gangs, like it's like rival gangs and stuff like that. So you kind of have like, I mean, I don't want to say it's the Italian mafia thing, but like there, it's like similar to that. Like there's gangs versus gang rivalries and things like that. So it's
Okay.
really good.
Yeah, I'm watching as of right now. I'm watching Bel Air actively, and I'm watching Gotham because for whatever reason, I love Gotham and I've never been able to finish it. Every time I get into it, like then something comes up and I watch this. But
Yeah.
I'm on like season 2 of that. I do recommend that, and Bel Air is just awesome. It's like the whole reimaginative version of the Fresh Prince, but it's like a drama. I highly recommend that.
I haven't seen that. That's interesting. I'll have to look into those.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on Peacock, so definitely check that out.
Okay, I will.
My recommendation is always just Euphoria. For
Yeah,
people who haven't seen.
I've seen that a lot on my TikTok feed. Is people saying
Yeah.
Victoria? Yeah.
Very good. She
It's
got me
like
into it.
yeah, it is very good. It's one of those things that like I started watching it after season 1 came out because I just heard good things about it and I am a Zendaya fan and
Hmm.
I heard that she was really good in it. So I was like, "Oh, I'll watch it. You know, I need something to watch." And it was really really good. And so then yeah, every week in season 2 I watch it. It's like one of those things that's like, and Jake, maybe you'll agree with me. It is so good, but it's also just like it's not realistic at all. Like it like the joke about Euphoria is like this is not a real high school experience. Like these
Hmm.
people at high school, they're all dressed up. They're like all spending so much money and like doing drugs and like all this crazy stuff that when you I get on Twitter and everyone's like, this is no one's high school experience, but that's kind of what makes it a fun show. Like,
That's what I've seen. Like that's what
yeah,
memes that I've seen as well on like social media content and things like that.
yeah, it's crazy, but it is really good. So that's my recommendation. The snack was a good. I need to go get some of those. I haven't had those in a while, but I used to get them a lot from the grocery store, the dried mangoes.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I need to do that again.
Uh,
Um,
Someone said Mud Buddies like our last interview. I think someone that you gotta check those out. Those are great.
Yeah, I mean those are awesome too. My
Yeah.
buddies are great. My mom will make those, so those are really good.
yeah. Yep. Oh, we've gotten all good recommendations. I'll say that. No one's ever recommended a snack on here that I was like, but I also pretty much will eat anything or like try anything once. So everything that people recommend sounds good to me. So
Well, if you guys get a big offensive lineman up here, you better take his recommendation over mine because that'll probably be pretty good.
you know what's so funny is we had an offensive lineman. Who was it? Was it Blaze Andrews?
I think it
Who
was he
and he
wanted the
like
trail mix.
yeah, we asked him for a snack and he said trail mix, which is really good and a good recommendation. But all the other offensive linemen like usually give something like, like with a lot of carbs or
Yeah.
something really good.
And he
And
didn't want to get a steak at a steakhouse. Remember, all the offensive linemen,
yeah,
his friends were like pissed at him.
yeah, yeah,
So
no, but
yeah,
yeah,
Get a stay. That's not an offensive lineman thing.
yeah,
a rare
yeah,
breed.
yeah, very much a rare breed. But anyways, Jake, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah,
We
of
know it's a really busy time.
course. Thank you guys for having me, and I appreciate you guys reaching out. We're glad we get this done.
Absolutely, man. We'll have to stay in touch and you stay healthy. Big things are ahead. Just make sure you keep that ACL intact and you stay healthy and go show them.
I'll do my best to keep the ACL intact. All right.
Yeah,
Appreciate you guys. We'll see you.
Absolutely, man. Take
we'll see
care.
it.
All right. See ya.